Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship, Round 1, here at lovely Silverstone. I'm Austin Knight. I am joined by Sam Fitzpatrick and Sammy Kumo in the booth to bring to you the opening round of Season 2 of the Formula 3.5 Championship. Sam, how are you doing?
I am doing very well, thank you very much. I hope all our viewers are doing very well as well. And we're in Silverstone, one of the best circuits undoubtedly in the world. Fantastic to be back in these Formula 3.5 cars, some of the fastest cars in all of iRacing, of course. And we should be in for a terrific race this evening.
We should be in for a amazing and terrific race this evening. I was talking with a few of the drivers saying how they're getting used to the track. They love this track and all the unique challenges it's going to give them. And a new home. We used to be running on the iRacing Esports Network last season. A few discussions about paints, and that has brought everyone over here to Apex Racing TV, where we've always been broadcasting it, but we've had it here before. But now you're going to see a lot more beautiful paints now, and it's going to be very, very fun to see what these guys bring out throughout the season.
Absolutely, and of course we're very pleased this season to be bringing this new overlay to you all, and absolutely look at it. I mean, it looks absolutely super. Of course, we're replicating the real-life 3.5 championship, which of course unfortunately ended a few years ago, but whilst it was around, it's very much used for an overlay like this, so trying to replicate that today. And hopefully it's a feast for your eyes, certainly a feast for our eyes. And we've got some familiar names back. Well, we've got Martin Piatella out there on the race, and you can see there Coanda, who I imagine doing very well in the Sebring 12 hours currently. Brilliant to have him involved, but it just shows the competitiveness of the other drivers. So he's only on pole position by 3/100ths of a second at the moment, 2.5 minutes of qualifying to go, and well, this looks like a star-studded field today, which is great to see, considering that the 12 hours is going on. Sometimes it can drain down the participation a bit, but no signs of it today.
Yeah, some names that we all know and some names that we are not used to, but I'm certainly sure we're going to see all of our favorite faces throughout the season. And I just love seeing Edward Samborski. He's been doing a lot of improvement throughout the end of that season. I just love that paint he's got going on. If you don't know about that paint, he's got like this metallic layer of a like circuit board that goes along that car. It's really, really cool.
It really does look good. Of course, these shadow maps that iRacing have brought, it was something that we didn't really know that we needed, but it's incredible now that it's out, and it's nice and sunny as well here at Silverstone as well, so we can properly see the sun glinting off these superb liveries. And like I said earlier on, all the drivers are going to have their custom liveries now, so there's no restrictions on it anyway anymore. We're going to have a lot of different liveries, and we've also got 25 cars out here, so nice big splits. There wasn't an uncomfortable, there wasn't a small splits or anything. It was 2 splits of 25 cars, and so I got plenty of cars to have a look at. Samborski, one of the few drivers still out on circuit at the moment. The top 4 have all gone back to the pits because you can only set 2 laps, and of course these cars are so quick, despite the fact that this track is quite long. They get their 2 laps in quite early on in the session, and Samborski is not going to improve on this second lap, so he decides to duck on into the pits. Phil Reed is still out on track. Oh, no, he's not. He's off the track now, and that was a scary moment. Unusual to lose it at that corner, because that's a little almost easy flat out through there. I mean, I was doing some laps earlier on, and even for me, I was nearly flat out through there on a baseline setup, so surprising they had those issues. Shane Russell, I doubt he's going to go to pole with this type of speed.
I think he's just trying to get a setting fixed up. Looking at James J. Painter, we remember his memorable win at Spa last season, and he was doing a lot of improvement throughout the end of the season. Didn't have the best start of the season, looking to improve on that right now. He's currently sitting in 8th place. Nope, he is not sitting in 8th place. That is his number. He has a set of time.
No.
As qualifying has ended, and he'll be starting in the back row. And, well, actually, let's just throw up the grid right here. And Sam, I'll let you take the honors here.
Yeah, so it's Martin Piatella going to be tricky to beat today. The World Championship Grand Prix driver of old is on pole position by 0.2 of a second ahead of Tim Delarcos, two-time defending champion. Paul Ilbrink up there in third. That's so promising for him. Usually struggles a little bit in qualifying, but very strong there. Greg Olsen starts in fourth. There's Edward Samborski, Manuel Hoyer, Rob Crouch, Manuel Domingo, Rob Bohr, Phil Reed, Simone Pizzica, Maximilio Cherubin in 12th place. And then it says Dan Gang, Alessandro Vocatello, Thomas Knoll, Shane Russell, Luke Groom, Nicholas Bradford, Victor Martin, Joshua Stewart, Cedric Bill, Juan Parada, James Pinsker, James Mallow in 24th, and that is the entire field for you. So there we are. That fitted very nicely on our screens, didn't it? Just so Giles have got about 50 more seconds then to pop onto the grid, and then the lights will come on, and this race will get underway. It should last about 40 minutes or so. And it's really difficult to call who is going to come out on top. This place, you can overtake around here. So just because Piatella's got pole position, certainly do not rule anyone out, particularly out of those top 4 drivers.
It definitely is going to be a battle for the ages at the start of this grid. And also there's been some posts and activity on the forums of the drivers sharing their starting techniques with everyone else. So expect a very quick blitzing starts from the normal guys, but they're not going to fly away because now everybody knows the 3 fastest starting methods that they're going. Which method are they going to go for as the 5 red lights are coming on? And we're going green flag racing and starting off the season with a bang here at Silverstone. We got a car stalled on the grid.
Straight away into the lead, though, it's Tim Delar. Oh, and Piatella's off the circuit. He had a bit of contact. It was a poor launch for him, and he's fallen way down the field. The pole sitter, potentially out of race-winning contention straight off the bat.
Cars going everywhere, but it's Delisle and Ilbrink leading out the rest of the field as these guys are going 1, 2, 3 wide. And oh my goodness, wow. There was a car flying through the air. James A. Pinksbury is around, and that was Cedric Bill bouncing and flipping all over the place as he lands on all 4s. Dan Yang spun around, doing a little bit donuts, dropped down 10 positions. He's had a horrible start. And also it's chaos in Brooklands and Woodcut. Manuel Huer is off in the grass. Didn't hit the barrier though, so he's going to be pretty okay. Phil Reed battling out with Edward Samborski down to his inside. They're side by side as they're coming up down the old National Straight and flying through this quick right-hander. It's very tricky. You don't want to go that far out wide because you will have to do a slow down penalty, and through Maggots, Beckett, and Chapel. Best corners of the circuit, as some would say, the world.
Absolutely. As they're nearly coming to the end of this lap 1, so it's Delisle leading, Ilbrink in second, Olsen in third. I think it was Olsen. It was either Olsen or Ilbrink. Or it could have been any of those top 3, to be fair, who made contact with Piatella. He's down into 12th position now, side by side with Cherubin. He's had a good start. He's up 3 places, just batsman with Thomas Knoll at the moment. Oh, that's a big move down the inside. I think Knoll is going to... Oh, sorry, that's Ball losing a place to Crouch just ahead of them, losing lots of time. And there is Knoll going down the inside, nearly gets his nose cut off. And now he's going to be very vulnerable from the overtake into the next corner. We've got 3 wide potentially going into turn 1. They're moving across the circuit. And that's Piatella trying to pick up a couple of positions. This is where it went all wrong for him on the opening lap. He's going to have the inside for this next hairpin. However, that turns into the outside for the next corner. And he just decides to duck out for it for now.
The Quinn Simsport driver doing a little switch around. Now he has the apex in the arena as he's going side by side with Knoll, trying to force his way back up into the top 10. It's a drag race here down the straight of Silverstone.
Surely going to get it done eventually as Piatella. That took him a lot longer than he would have wanted to, and he's already 8 seconds off the lead with many drivers to pass. And with 20 laps remaining, that is not going to favour him much whatsoever. Big gainers from that opening lap. Manuel Domingo up into 4th place from 8th on the grid. Phil Reed from 10th to 6th. Cherubin, who we're watching from 12th place on the grid, up into 8th position now. Although you feel like he's probably going to lose that place to Piatello pretty soon. It's a little bit further down. Parada just watching this battle of Stewart and Roccatello going on. And I think Roccatello momentarily losing out there, and Parada right on his tail trying to make up that move perhaps into Stowe could be his opportunity.
Yeah, Parada, your biggest mover after that chaotic start. What a way to start the season. 19 cars, I believe, got through that, but honestly, 17 cars is that main pack. And I would say about 13 cars got through that without having contact. But wow, what a start to the season. What a way to start it off. Let's ride on board with our biggest mover, Juan Parada Jr., as he's following Alessandro Roccatello.
Yeah, that's straight away. That slipstream effect really helping. Maybe, I doubt he's using the DRS. Not down such a short straight. Quite close enough. He has a look down the inside of his rival. And now going to go for this next hairpin move because the drivers leave so much space on the inside. It's almost impossible not to go for the move sometimes. It's so tempting, and this is, of course, where the DRS can really help you out if you want that little bit of extra speed. He's certainly got much better straight line speed as Parada, and he goes to the inside of Roccatello. And that is simple for Parada. So Roccatello having a little bit of a tricky time, down one place, which is surprising considering the issues we've seen for drivers ahead of him dropping out. But he's still got time to recover, of course. Maybe just struggling with these cold tyres.
It probably just is struggling, but also everyone, whoa, flying down the inside. That's Bradford looking for the inside of Roccatello as they're flying down that very hard right-hander, very fast, very hard. And he's got Hoover now around his outside as they go into Magnus Beckinson Chapel.
Now this is where the turbulent air will take effect for these guys. It is quite prominent in these machines. We saw it at, I think, Laguna Seca last season, where it was almost impossible to overtake. It's going to be much more possible today, of course, but still, that Magnus Beckett section is going to be tricky to stay close. Of course, the hanger straight, though, plenty of opportunity to get past by the end of it. Of course, always at Silverstone, the grandstand's absolutely packed.
Unlike other series in real life. Oh, wait.
Oh, we had to mention it, didn't we, at some point? Bradford lost the place, by the way.
Tim Delisle out front. Just like all of last season, he is still flying. And usually, because Ilbrink is right behind him, just one and a half seconds behind him and bringing on the charge. He's also got Greg Olson on his tail, your top three.
Just pulling away a little bit is Delisle recently. 1/10 faster on that last lap, but the top 5 separated by 1/10 of a second, all their lap times, and this is a long lap, over 100 seconds, which is very long for these types of cars. Just watching Piatella, yeah, he matched them as well. He was literally 1/10 slower than the race leader. So it's incredible how evenly matched these top 6 are. You can just see even gaps between all of them. It's going to be tricky to break that at any points in the race. We don't have any pit stops in this, do we?
No.
No pit stops, of course, no. Which is how it should be. You've got to get the moves done on circuit instead.
Gotta fight it out on track, pull out the gloves and go hand to hand. This is a sim, you can do that. In real life, I would say put on the gloves, but, you know.
Yeah, of course. There you go, that's number 2. We'll keep a tally. I think Piatella's quite close to Rob Crouch at the moment. Catching about a little bit of an awkward time in the lap. He could go for a move into 1. But I guess there are so many different overtaking spots to be fair around this place. You got the 2 hairpins, you got at the end of the Wellington Straight, you got Cops Corner, Stowe, and you've also got Club as well. So he's not short on opportunities, and oh no, he's made contact with Piatella. Oh, he's made a big mistake there. I don't think there's too much damage to that wing. He'll be able to continue at least. Oh, he's hit the curb, and oh, he's at threat of being hit by someone else, and he might just give in right here. No, he has decided to carry on, but this race could not have gone worse for him, and if his chances of a win were over already, they're certainly over now.
He's been having a very disastrous race, taking pole and then falling down the grid, having the toughest time, and he's going to pull over and retire the race. Martí Piatella just no luck whatsoever. He didn't have a lot of luck in the final race at Brazil. No, at the end of the season, and no luck at the start of the season. The start of the new season. We'll hopefully see him next week.
That's a big iRacing hit for him, won't it? I mean, that's going to be 150 iRacing lost because he's going to finish close to last, 20th place.
Looking at the timing software, it's looking like he's going to lose 100 iRating after that, which is a massive chop down. You can see our live iRating board right there up on the screen. Lovely feature by SDK Gaming. You can check out SDK Gaming and all their cool stuff on their site at sdk-gaming.co.uk.
And of course, you can create a livery for yourself just like this on SDK Gaming. Of course, Pascal, he was the software kind of main engineer, sorted this out for us. However, you can design this yourself as well. There's this much customization. You can make it customized to any series that you want. So you certainly do check it out. That is the quality of SDK Gaming. And you can get a 14-day free trial as well. So you can have a little tinker with it and then buy it after that. So it certainly is recommended. Pizzica, deep on the brakes, not quite close enough to get past Pocatello.
Gusto's asking if that was netcode in the chat. I don't believe the initial contact. I think the initial contact may have been netcode, but the killer contact was when he just skipped over the curb and his wheel got stuck on it, and that sent him around, and that gave him a little bit of suspension damage. That was the main bit of issue right there for Piatella.
No new damage model, unfortunately, on these cars. I'm sure will come quite soon already on the Formula 3 cars. I've been on the Formula 3 cars for a while. And I'm sure everyone else has tried the GT4 cars and see how far you can push them. See a few tyres flying. It would be brilliant to have that in these machines. I mean, we need to have safety cars with the damage when pieces fall off. And I feel like we could have a few pace laps in this series, but certainly mix it up.
It would certainly mix it up, but I don't think a lot of the road guys will like that in the open series. But in a few private leagues, we'll probably throw that car around.
Thomas Knoll is looking pretty quick at the moment. I was just seeing him quite close to the back of Rob Bohr, 0.6 of a second. He's also pretty close as well for second place, a bit further ahead. Paul Ilbink coming under some pressure from Greg Olsen. Don't know if we could get a replay of actually what happened at the start going into turn one, because we saw contact between one of these guys and Piatella, of course, going into turn one, and Sam Kume doing a brilliant job on the cameras, and might just find out what happened.
Ask and you shall receive.
So that's Dalal going past him straight away. Oh no, he lost it by himself.
Yeah, I don't think there was any contact at the start, and that's what I thought originally. He just did that to be safe, and that has proven my my theory that he just did that to get out of the way.
And then Cedric Bill be quickly cut to Bill, potentially. Oh, that's... Oh, Peter then had another crash, and then Bill went absolutely flying. And then it was actually Piatella's fault then for that second instant. Just didn't anticipate the slowing speed in front of him, and poor Cedric Bill did absolutely nothing wrong there.
No, Cedric Bill had nothing and nowhere to go, and I might start calling up Cedric Rocketman Bill after that. It's going to take him a long, long time for him to get back out on the track.
Seemingly Olsen just dropping a little bit further back from Ilbink now. Also Domingo not quite playing the same pressure on. Manuel Domingo having a good race. Of course, I've commentated quite a few races in this series. I think I only did one last season. I may have not even done any last season, but I did do some before. Domingo not usually on pace with these guys, but maybe playing in a few extra hours during week 13, and he's very up to pace, mixing it with the very best in this series. Roccatello, who was struggling already, was running in 15th place, I believe. Fortunately, with the amount of retirements we've had, he's still in 16th. However, I think he might be added to that list.
Yep, and we're going to add one more to the list because he's just popped off into the pit lane as Bradford and Pizzica are battling it out for 15th.
I think that was Bradford getting past Pizzica then. Or as Olsen has got past Ilbrink, the second position. And just as I was saying, Olsen was dropping back from Ilbrink. He's come out of nowhere to overtake him. Must have been a mistake then from the Radicals Online driver.
I believe DRS was used to catch up to him on the national straight coming out of Woodcut because, well, DRS also being used again by Olsen trying to pull away from the cars behind him. You can tell if DRS is being used, that little slit between the wings is filled up. DRS is being used. If it is not, it's not being used. The opposite happens, but that's what you get with these cars.
There's no doubting your vision, the fact that you can see that, which is very, very good to see. Because I could not notice that. I remember when I found that out, actually. It was probably about 4 months ago or so, and I couldn't quite believe it. But that's the way it works. If the DRS is closed, then, or if the rear wing is closed, the DRS is on, and vice versa. There you go.
I believe you told me. I believe you're the one who actually told me about it, and it blew my mind.
Yeah, I just put it on the Discord. I don't know why I was looking out for it, but yeah, it's just absolutely madness. We're not on the esports network now, so we can absolutely talk trash about iRacing, and they won't care. I say this, anyone who's watched the Sim Racers World GT Championship on a Wednesday on the iRacing Esports Network knows that that doesn't stop us talking trash about iRacing. We will happily talk it down whenever we like.
I'm not going to do that because I like this. Because I like it.
Ilbrink's coming back now, 2/10, but he can't keep up through this part of the track, I imagine.
Oh, he's locked down going through Magus, Beckus, and Chapel. As these are some beautiful, beautiful cameras we got going here. Thank you, Sam. As they are flying down Hanger Straight, let's see if Paul Ilbrink is going to activate DRS and try to fly back, but Olsen activates DRS again to pull away from Ilbrink and just to stay ahead of him.
Yeah, he's going to be running out of them, though. And you think if you can use, if you got 2 or 3 left on the last lap, that's going to be a massive advantage because there's a few places where you can deploy the DRS and it being really effective. They are losing a little bit of time to Delisle. Actually outpaced Delisle on that last lap, so they're now 3 seconds behind. But, I mean, Tim barely ever makes mistakes, and you almost feel like he needs to make a mistake, especially if they do start fighting once again.
Definitely. And we were talking about DRS and DRS uses with 8 uses and 3 main DRS spots, but actually it's just, I would say, 2 main. In F1, they do have the 2 DRS coming down Brooklands and down to Brooklands and the Hanger Straight. Those just being the most prominent uses, but here they have no restrictions. And I've been seeing people use DRS coming out of Woodcut, actually, to get a good old blast coming up to this fast right-hander down the National Straight.
Yeah, it's a smart tactic. I imagine, of course, 2011, in qualifying, you could use the DRS wherever. So I imagine there were lots of DRSs being used on that occasion. That was the first year as well with this configuration of the track. Or was it 2010? No, 2010 was the first year. Apologies. I've never understood why iRacing called this version the 2011 version because it was designed in 2010. But there you go. Again, can talk as much trash about iRacing as we want.
Once again, I'm not going to say anything, but yeah.
you agree?
Yes.
Hoyer on to Noel. Hoyer down 4 places from the start. We saw an issue for him, didn't we? It was at the first couple of hairpins, I think, on the opening lap. So he should be ahead, and you'd expect him to deal with these couple of guys. Well, Bohr is only just ahead, and they've got 5 seconds up to Rob Crouch. He's having a very solid race. The number 10 driver. Of course, the lower the number, the higher the I rating that these guys have got. So number 1 was Piatella, highest I rated driver. And then our lowest I-rated driver will be car number 24. Who I can't even see on the time board. That is Luke Groom, who's running in 17th place, last of the running drivers.
And if you were just mentioning, oh, they're higher than lower, I could be out the lower guy. These guys still have insanely high I rating because we got a strength of field of 4.2 thousand I rating. So it takes a lot of skill and a lot of experience on the iRacing service to get up here into this broadcast. It's one of the highest I rating field broadcasts, I believe, in all of iRacing.
Yeah, absolutely. Apologies, PSO isn't the highest either, he's only 4th. Of course, clearly those pro racers not dragging him up too much. Because PSO's got podiums before in the Grand Prix series, which should undoubtedly come back. And once again, I'm going to criticise iRacing for the 3rd time on this stream because they need to bring back the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix series with this car. Anyone on the comments, let me know if you agree, because it would be legendary if we could have these cars in a proper World Championship. Once again, don't need a big prize fund, just make it 10 grand like it used to be, and would be brilliant to watch. But we'll see if anything like that happens in the future. I think they've hinted at it in the past.
Well, I think the hits are going to get stronger with a few real-life instances as Hewer and Bohr going at it nose to tail of each other. Hewer just pretty much hanging onto Bohr's rear end in that gearbox. And now as they go into the slower section arena, Hewer is going to go with the switchback. He's got his nose in there, but a little bit of oversteer and a wiggle coming out of that corner. That's pretty much killed off all of his speed. He's still going to be in the draft, but look out for Noel as they are having a big old race down into Brooklands.
And Russell's right on these guys as well. Now, I thought that Noel, if he was just a little bit closer, then he would have had a tremendous run. And with the combination of DRS, I think he could have perhaps had the pair. Then he was just maybe 3 or 4 tenths further back than he absolutely needed to be. But this is a good position for Noel because he can kind of get this this driver ahead of Manuel Hoyer a little bit unawares, I think. If he can just stay close through this part, and of course they're both going to be suffering from the turbulent air, and then use a bit of DRS down into Stone. Perhaps there could be an opportunity, but Hoyer looks like the fastest guy out of this lot at the moment. We've already seen him overtake Thomas Noel, of course. So just struggling coming out of Chapel. And he's got a lot of time to gain, half a second. I believe that we're... Has he got DRS? No, I don't think he was.
Yeah, no DRS that I can tell of. I just saw one free pixel out there that just made me judge otherwise. I did have to lower my graphical settings to spot for my team during the Sebring 12-hour last night and the start of this morning, and not all of us could run it full on graphical settings, and now I'm doing what you're doing now. But Hewer and Bohr going side by side. Hewer swinging around the outside. Bohr holding down that inside. Are we going to see another switchback? Yes, we are. Hewer, though, has got a great run this time, but a big slide once more. But he's still going to be holding down that inside. We're going to have a drag race going down into Brooklyn. They're wheel to wheel. Pedal to the metal, drag racing as they're heading into the braking zone. DRS for both cars as they're heading into Brooklands, and Hewer has jumped up into 8th place, and here comes Noel. Here comes Noel on board now.
Poor Mike, he tries to use the DRS straight away here. No, he's not using it at the moment, but that slipstream is tremendous for him. He's going to be very close, going into Cop's corner, perhaps. Looks down the inside. I don't know why he didn't use the DRS there, otherwise that would have been an awesome chance that gets him back. And now he's going to have to go through these fast sweepers and going to lose a lot of time. And he's got to look behind to Noel. It just seemed like Bohr made the same mistake as he did on the previous lap, running wide at the second hairpin. It's so tricky, but nice positional play there from Manuel Hoyer. He's back up into 8th place, of course, starts it in 6th. Doubt he's going to be able to get any higher than 8th, though. There's quite a big gap in front of him. Almost feels so it's an inevitability now that Noel is going to get past as well, as they both pick up a 1x team.
Yeah, flying off the track limits, I don't think means nothing with these guys as they're having a great old battle to start off the season off right. And you see the pace between Hewer and Bohr. Bohr was keeping Hewer up because Hewer is starting to fly away. He's already a second past Bohr, and here comes Noel.
To the outside, is he going to do the same move? Bohr has run wide at this corner for the last 2 laps. That one's better though, he got the apex right. Noel, if he wants to use the DRS though, is going to be within passing range 0.3 of a second. This is even closer than I think Bohr was on the last lap, although yeah, can't quite get past can Noel. Oh, contact
no!
between the two of them. And that was Shane Russell coming in from nowhere and just wiped Noel out. Horribly messed up his braking.
Noel and Russell getting in together in the braking zone of Brooklands. There you see Russell and Noel rejoin the track a little bit farther up. Let's get a instant replay of that incident right there. Shane Russell in the braking zone. He just came in there like a madman.
That was so strange, wasn't it? I think he straight away was too deep on the brakes and then tried to keep the car straight as possible just to not lock the brakes. It'd be great to get a replay potentially of that. I think once he was too late on the brakes, it was too late. However, I feel like he could have straight lined it a bit more. Could have just gone to the outside of the circuit rather than spearing into Noel. Here it is.
Yeah, he just didn't have the stopping power to stop himself.
Yeah, it's strange, wasn't it? Because he was still going to make the corner, so Noel was early on the brakes, but yeah, I could have done a little bit better than I think Russell, just to avoid his rival, as Stewart is now slow.
Stewart's going slow. Oh, and he's stopping his car. Look at that damage on his front wing. Stewart, that is not Stewart. That is Massimiliano Carabin. Carabin has a lot of damage on that front wing. What has happened to him? Well, he's still slow there. Did he just like absolutely miss the corner and serve a slowdown penalty or something? Oh, here. Oh, hangers. Oh my goodness.
Was it Pizzica? No, it was ahead of these guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the purple.
Was it a back marker?
I don't think that's a back. I don't think that's a back marker. That was Joshua Stewart that he hit.
Ah, that would make sense, yeah. Stewart seems to go away with that. All right.
Yeah, it's been a very tough race for Stewart and Russell. Both of them teammates. They've been having a very tough time in the same lap, honestly. But teammates now together in 12th and 13th, looking to move up the field and try to join Crouch up in 7th.
No, not putting up too much fight there. You can definitely see the DRS open or the rear wing closed, however you want to put it, for Josh Stewart, who moves back up into 11th.
Now Noel has that massive amount of damage on that front left part of his wing, and he sees Russell behind him, and he probably doesn't want the same thing to happen again, and Russell probably doesn't want the same thing to happen again as well. So expect this to be a very drawn out battle of caution between the two drivers.
Not quite sure how Russell hasn't got any damage on his car, and yet Noel has, seeing that Russell was the one who hits him, and of course made contact with his front wing. Hits Noel's front wing. He's got the more damage. Russell very hesitant there. You're absolutely right. Maybe just very nervy about trying to go for an overtake. They got Bradford 1 second behind, and Noel was painfully slow on that last lap. That was a 0.6, and that wasn't because of the incident either. I think that was literally just a 3 laps. So shows how much he's struggling for pace right now. Might be worth even coming into the pits because, well, Russell needs to get on with this because, as I say, that Bradford just makes a little bit of a mistake behind. Is there an opportunity into Cops? No,
he's lifting off and just sitting behind Noel. Noel has that aero damage. Here comes Russell up onto the exit. Noel is slow in the corners now. I think he may have a spotter watching him right now and giving him this information that Noel has damage, and watch him on the hanger straight. He's probably going to enable DRS right now and chase down Noel.
Still open to me.
Yeah, it's still open to me. He's not using it, but look who is using it. That's Bradford behind him.
And Noel really wants to keep this one, doesn't he? Although now on the marbles, almost contact between the two of them again. Here comes back Noel to the inside into Club. He really does not like his rival right now. He wants to cause as much trouble to his race as possible. As now, I think they might both lose out straight away to Bradford. He's got way better straight line speed than Noel. Can't get past into one though.
Yeah, Bradford and Nolan. Bradford swinging very loose wide. A lot of wheel spin for all three of these guys. They're going 3 wide into the arena. And that's Mallow onto the inside. James Mallow started at the very back of the field, been slowly making his way up, sitting in 15th. He tried to make a move down the inside and make it a little surprising gesture, but that definitely surprised Bradford and Noel as they battle it out going into Brooklands.
These guys lapping 3 or 4 seconds a lap off the pace, or certainly Noel is at least. I think Noel will be overtaken by Bradford going into Cops. It just depends how risky they're willing to beat Bradford almost off the circuit, making life a little bit tricky for him. It goes around the outside, and that's a very stylish move, certainly. And now Mallow will get past as well. And this will be a dull race now for Noel because he's got no one else to fight. Might just be worth popping on into the pits, getting that front wing prepared. I know, going for fastest lap, perhaps playing on some fresh tyres.
No points for fastest lap, but it's always a good feeling when you know you have the fastest lap. Even though with 4 laps remaining here at the season opener, I don't think it will be worth it since the next car behind you is Luke Groom, who's 34 seconds behind you and gaining on you.
Yeah. 2.8 seconds, by the way, between the top 2 in this race, Tim Delar and Greg Olsen. And it's been maintaining at that gap for a while. Now, last lap, Olsen did make up a couple of tenths of a second, but it's not been a big catch-up.
There is Stewart with a beautiful dive.
Parada. That was lovely there. Parada coming around the outside though. That was great speed carried by him, and he's got a much better exit as well. Will he get the cutback away? He tries to sweep all the way around the outside, keeps his foot in. Now, who's willing to use one of their DRSs on this occasion? Neither of them are.
They're saving it all to the end.
Yeah, Stewart does get the place done.
Yeah, Stewart with that very, very aggressive dive heading into the arena section. We thought we lost with that massive wheel he got onto the exit because Parada had that insane amount of speed coming out of the exit, but Stewart just held it in going to Brooklands and has made the move stick for 10th place. But watch for Parada up onto the exit of Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel as they fly down the Hanger Straight.
Yeah, just needs to be within maybe 4 tenths, and then he's going to have a brilliant opportunity, and that is pretty close for him. That's good. Yeah, 0.42. So if he does use the DRS...
He's using it right now.
Yep.
Some of the drivers like to color code their DRS bar, which is colorable in the iRacing wireframe. Unfortunately, they don't tell you which bar it is. Thanks, iRacing. Oh, there I go, digging out iRacing now.
All wide. And Parada might get this one done.
Stewart gone wide, and that's Parada trying to sweep around the outside. They're wheel to wheel, racing down the start-finish line as they are entering 3 laps to go.
Parada back down the inside here and tries to do the same move that Stewart did on him last time, but Stewart is so good on the brakes there that there's no opportunity. Now, will he use another DRS? Because if he uses another, then he's even from behind. There's now contact from Shane Russell. Oh, Shane for 1. Parada, he was brilliant, driving a brilliant race, having a great battle as well with Stewart. Looks as though he could get a top 10 in this race, but now he's behind Noel even. Here comes Bradford. He's going to try to take advantage of this, and there could be damage on Russell's car as well because of that front wing contact.
I don't see... Russell's car must be made of titanium or vibranium or some other fictional metal in some comic book universe, because that thing is still not looking damaged. Like, there may be a few scrapes of scratch on it, or that just might be his paint job, but what is that thing made of?
I do not know. It could be just Aussie internet. I don't know, but his pace has been good, hasn't it? That's mad. It's absolutely crazy.
And that's the second car he's gone into the back end of somebody. Maybe the third car. We didn't see what he did at the start.
They mine opal over there, don't they? In Australia, maybe it's made of that. I don't know what opal is, to be honest, but yeah, could well be that, because that is remarkable how he hasn't got much damage on that car. And he has pulled away a little bit from Bradford, half a second, and then it's Malloy just behind. After that contact, Prada, yeah, like I said, behind Noel. So it was worth Noel staying up for a bit longer. However, Prada might well get back at him before the race has ended.
I must say, I do know that titanium is real metal. I was making a point after vibranium, which is not a real metal.
It's not real, but I love Wakanda.
Not a real country.
Lies, lies.
Anyway, we go back into the real sim racing world. I almost said real world for a bit, and then I realized I'm sitting at home in front of my computer.
It's a good point. Oh, we're merging. This is Matrix all over again, isn't it, right now? Tim Dalal, I mean, he's been performing like Neo, to be honest. I'm sure he's seeing all the ones and zeros in front of him, because he's been perfect so far. 3.3 seconds, just at the fastest first sector of anyone as well as Tim Dalal. Absolutely comfortable for him. 1 lap to go then. And yeah, we're going to nearly be at the 40-minute mark. Really not being too many battles out of these top guys. We did see Olsen get past Ilbrink earlier on. But Samborski and Domingo and Reed and Crouch as well, all being quite level. Actually, Reed has been caught by Crouch. 7/10 of a second. Crouch just took out half a second on that last lap. So, well, if he's got a couple of DRSs available, we could see a last lap move for 6th place.
The last lap moves, and we all see that as James Ballow's going slow. It looks like he had a little bit of incident coming out of Chapel, judging by the amount of smoke and dirt coming out onto the straight right there, as Parada's looking up the inside of Null and trying to make the best of what he was given in these final laps. Null still staying out with that damaged wing. He's a man of not giving up, which is something we always look upon and smile upon, because, well, we know Noel, he never gives up, and even with damaged wing, he's looking up the inside. What was a very daring move going into farm curve.
Oh, he's going to do well to stay ahead of Mallow, because he's losing 2 seconds a lap with that is Noel, and he's only 2 seconds ahead, so got to nail every single corner if he wants to get 14th. Might be worth watching out for that one going into club on this final lap. Doesn't seem to be too close right now between Reed and Crouch. It's actually separated a bit. Olsen being caught by Ilbrink, but I think out in lead, Tim Dalal has this one wrapped up.
Yeah, Tim Dalal, this is a sight we're used to seeing as he's flying around the final corners and taking the first win of Season 2 for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. Tim Dalal stands on top of the podium. There's followed by Greg Olsen and Paul Ilbrink, who join him on those glorious steps, and probably in a very, very unique podium. Well, the F1 podium here is very, very unique. I don't know what podium they use for other series, but if I was a driver, I would like to be on that podium that they use.
Absolutely. Here comes Malloy. Like I said, looks as though he's been able to catch Noel. Goes to the outside. Noel, oh, I feel so bad for him. I feel so bad for him, because he's put in a valiant effort these last few laps. So I tried to hang on to as many places as he can, and pretty much it's all been for nothing, because he's still down in 15th place. At least he's going to finish. We've had a lot of retirements in this race. James Malloy, nice recovery right to the end. He will finish in 14th. Going to be in a bit better. There'll be a lot of drivers saying that. A lot of drivers will be thinking, could have got a top 10 out of that. Maybe even a top 8, but wasn't meant to be for the vast majority of them. Noel actually dropped back by another 4 seconds before they even reached the line. Absolutely tired, I imagine, after all that racing. Luke Groom, the only driver yet to cross the line there, yes.
Well, you say that he's going to be feeling sorrow, but honestly, just looking at the iRating game, which is something I was like, did I have a good race? Did I lose iRating during there? I'm a numbers guy. All these guys who finished this race except for Parada Jr. are gaining iRating, and Parada is going to be bummed because he lost 1 point in iRating. So that's a little fun fact right there. And Thomas Noel didn't lose any.
James Pinsker, the big loser, 112 points lost. Car number 8.
Ooh.
Did Pinsker even take the start?
He did take the start. We saw him skidding around on the infield.
Oh yeah, that was with Bill, wasn't it?
Yes. That opening lap incident, Pinsker definitely not not happy about that. Definitely didn't have a good start to his season 1, and season 2 looking like the same thing. And now, as the race is over, we're going to be inviting the drivers to our Discord. But first, let's bring you through the race results. Oh, I must say, thank you, Pascal, for this overlay. I've been smiling ear to ear because this just looks fresh. Taking the win is Tim Delisle ahead of Greg Olson. Paul Ilberg joins them on the podium. Ever A. Samborski in 4th place, followed by Manuel Domingo, Phil Reed, Rob Crouch, Manoa here, Rob Board, Joshua Stewart, Shane Russell, Nicholas Bradford, Juan Parada Jr., James Mallow, Thomas Snow, Luke Groom, Massimalo Carolyn, Simone Pizzica, Alessandro Raccatello, Marti Piatilla, who just, I feel so sorry for him. He's been putting in a lot of hard work, but finished in P20th. And behind him is Dan Giang, Victor Martin, Cedric the Rocket Man Bill, and James J. Pinkster finishing at the end of the grid. And Sam, I believe you're standing with a driver right now.
Yes. Well, who are we going to have a chat with? But we got our race winner. Well, that makes it simple, doesn't it? Tim Delisle is in the box with us. Tim, congratulations. I mean, really, the make or break point in that race was the start. Just take us through it. How good was that launch?
Yeah, thanks. It wasn't so much my launch. I mean, it was okay, but Marty just, yeah, I don't know. He had a bad start. The same thing happened at Interlagos last season, and unfortunately, it looked like he had a netcode contact with Paul or something. I just saw in the replay afterwards, but yeah, from my view, I don't know. I got past, and then it was pretty good from there.
Yeah, it really was. And how was the car around this place? I mean, it looks like a lot of fun to drive, just with the way that these corners sweep. Would you say this is a good car track combination?
Definitely, it's one of my favorites. I love Silverstone. Just all the fast corners, you know, Copse, Maggots, Beckett's, that whole section is just amazing. But the slower corners, I actually really struggled this race with the rear tyres. About lap 8, it felt like they started to go off, and I just had no grip through there. But it looked like Paul made a couple of mistakes behind, so that built a little buffer where I was able to take it a bit easier through there and then just have fun through the fast stuff.
And you've won the last couple of championships, I believe, in this series. I mean, going into this season, is there any changes that you've made? Any thinking that you're going to change how you practice for these events, or is it just, you know, stick with the same mentality?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to do a lot more in terms of learning about vehicle dynamics, analyzing telemetry, that sort of thing. You know, like I do sort of the basics, but just really getting to understand the car. I mean, there was a couple of changes they made with the season patch to the suspension that's made things a little better for my driving style, I'd say. The setups deviated mid last season to like a more softer setup, but I don't know, I seem to do better with the stiffer sets, and it seems this season it's coming back towards that with the new suspension changes. So yeah, just looking to learn more about that and try to keep improving as a driver.
Absolutely. Well, it certainly seems like you're still improving, Tim. Congratulations on your race win to date. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Thank you. Just the team, Positive Sim Racing, and congrats to Greg. We've been hoping for a 1-2 for a while now. We've had a couple of close calls, but we got it today. So well done to him, and thanks to you guys for all the coverage.
Awesome. Thanks for having a chat with us, Tim, and best of luck for next week.
Thank you.
That was Tim Delar, your
Corner,
race
didn't we?
winner for today, and I think Austin is with Greg Olson now.
Yes, I am with Greg. Greg, you finished in second place. You started a few cars down, and I'm pretty sure you had a very electric start. I know you had a bit of a battle after all the smoke has cleared from that craziness. How was that race?
It was a really good race. Yeah, it's a shame that Marty had to get taken out like that. I think there was nothing anyone could have done. But yeah, as for myself, I was just happy to get through the first corner. I had no idea where the corner was, so I was just guessing, and didn't take anyone out. So yeah, I was just happy to get through that. And I saw Paul was struggling a little bit with his rear tires, so I took advantage of that. And I was really happy. Believe it or not, I'm not a huge fan of Silverstone. I find it really hard to be consistent and consistently fast. But from about halfway through that race, for some reason, I was just nailing it. So yeah, I couldn't have asked for it to go any better. And Positive Sim Racing won too.
Yeah, first 1-2 of the season. Are you looking for trying to go for a clean sweep, or what are your hopes for the season?
No real targets. I was targeting top 10 last season, and then I revised that to top 5, and I got third, so I was really happy with that. So I don't know, as for this season, just try and stay out of trouble, be a bit more consistent, maybe try and take a few more wins, and yeah, who knows, we'll see where it puts me at the end.
All right, well, before we let you go, anyone want to thank?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Positive Sim Racing and all my teammates that have been working hard for this race, and our sponsors, Joel Real Timing and Z1 Dashboard, and all the rest of our technical partners. And you guys, as always, putting on the broadcast. It's good to be back.
It's good to be back for us as well. Thank you, man. You have yourself a good old day.
Thank you. You too.
That was Greg Olson. And Sam, I believe you're standing by with Paul.
Yes, I'm with Paul Ilpink, third place driver in today's event. Paul, congratulations, a really good result there, but those Positive Sim Racing drivers, they just seem to have that extra couple of tenths a lap on you today.
Well, I don't know if they did, maybe, but I don't know. I haven't done any long runs in this car on this build yet, and the first couple of laps of the race it was fine, but every lap after that I started to lose a little bit of grip in the rear, and with losing the grip I also completely lost confidence, so I struggled more and more and just made more mistakes and dropped off the pace a bit. But yeah, good job for them for getting a nice 1-2 finish. At least a little bit consolidation for not having a Melbourne Grand Prix this weekend, but good to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems to be getting pretty close as well with Eddie Samborski as well, just at the end, down to 4 tenths. Were you getting a little bit concerned on that last lap, or did you have it covered all the way?
Well, like I said, I got concerned throughout the whole second half of the race. First with Manuel Domingo behind me, I think, when he was really close, but I think he made a mistake, so I got a bit of air there. That Edward came really close towards the end, and I thought I haven't had enough of a gap, but I just kept sliding, and it became pretty small. But I had one DRS use left for the last lap, and was just enough. But the race shouldn't have lasted 1 or 2 extra laps, because I would have gotten into serious trouble, I think.
And next week we head to Road America. Is that one you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I haven't raced there for a while, I guess. So yeah, looking forward to that one. It's a fun track.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Paul. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, sure. Just my teammates at Radicals Online and our partners and sponsors. And you guys for doing a nice job.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Paul. And hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah, sure.
So that was Paul Ilpink, third place driver. And Austin, you are now with Eddie Samborski.
Yes, I am, and Eddie and I, glad to see you again. How was that race? Another P4, and I think you'd be pretty happy with that.
Oh, I'm real happy. I spent 2 weeks working on setup, working on everything, trying to improve my pace. And for the first time in a year and a half, I actually felt like I had some speed there. First part of the race, I was over driving. I swear there was a tailwind or something because I just could not get the car slowed, and it was a little wild through a couple of corners.
Well, you certainly controlled it eventually through the race and got that 4th place. And I must say, now that we're on Apex Racing TV, we lifted that paint embargo that we had, and I must say, I love your paint going on with that metallic circuit board on your car. It just looks great, man.
It actually is a reference to my job. Well, I mean, you guys and the rest of the viewers want to know, but as a 9 to 5, I make dental instruments. So if you zoom in, it's actually a pair of forceps, and I think there's some scalpel pieces on there. Bunch of stuff will make a lot of people uncomfortable, basically, because no one likes a dentist. But the guys at Downforce Racing really hooked me up with it, and I love the livery, man. It's great.
Well, it certainly looks great, and hopefully we will certainly see you up in the top 5 more throughout the season, and maybe, hey, up on the podium and fighting for the win.
I hope so. These guys are very quick. I mean, I had a lot of mistakes in the middle of the race, and just with those mistakes, I lost 4 to 5 seconds. I mean, if I take out 6 or 7 laps, I lost 6 and 8 tenths at a time. I mean, could have been a different race. I don't know. Who knows?
All right, man. But before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Thank you guys for doing the broadcast again. I'll thank Downforce Racing for hooking me up with the livery. I think the guys will be ecstatic, and I think that's about it.
All right, awesome, man. You have yourself a good old day.
Thank you. You as well.
That was Eddie Samborski, and I believe we do have Phil with Sam.
Yes, gonna have an interview with 6th place driver today, Phil Reed. Phil, congratulations from 10th on the grid. You had a brilliant start out there. Just take us through what happened.
Yeah, no, it was a good start. I was a bit worried coming into the race because I didn't 100% know how the car would be on start because I didn't do very much practice because I didn't realise that the car had changed a bit. So I came in thinking it'd be fine, and then got a little bit nervous at the start, but then thought, I'll just keep it safe, keep it on the inside, keep it a bit slow, and there was a bit of carnage on, at the front, and that sort of gave me most of my positions, and then a little bit later there was some other bits, and it's good race.
Yeah, absolutely, and you're only 2 seconds behind Domingo as well at the end. Was that gap coming down quite a lot in the closing stages?
To be honest, I don't think the gap was coming down. I think he was extending it. There was a point where he made a mistake, I think maybe lap 12. He dropped a lot of pace, and I got to about a second and a half to him. I gained in a little bit, and then he pulled away towards the end. My pace towards the back end, I wasn't losing pace, but other people were gaining, and so it kind of made it a bit tricky to think. But I kept with him, which it was. We pretty much had it almost equal pace, pretty much for the final 10 laps.
And going ahead into this season, is there anything with this car that you're really looking to crack, which maybe you haven't quite nailed in the past? What were you hoping to really achieve this season?
Oh, that's a good one. I think typically in this car, I think I've always been weak in doing chicanes and that kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see now that I know that the car is slightly different, to see if that's improved or not with a bit more practice. But typically that kind of slow speed or just any kind of speed change of direction has always been a bit of a struggle for me, but other than that, just keep plugging away, keep improving, a bit more practice here and there, and that'll be good. My sole focus now is this car, so we'll see.
Awesome. Well, it certainly seems to be paying effects right now today, Phil. Brilliant 6th place today. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Anyone I'd like to thank? Now, apparently I have sponsors. I don't know who they are, so I'll just say the sponsors that sponsor me, thank you. I know that's not great, but they don't.
I don't think they're going to be best pleased right now.
Oh, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They make things. Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll do it next time. I'll learn from the people that I need to learn from next time.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to that one, Phil. And thanks for having a chat with us. See you next week.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
That was Phil Reed and his sponsors. You can check them out. They make stuff. Austin, I think that's pretty much rounds us off for this evening. I mean, great way to start the championship. And next up, we had to Road America. I mean, that's a proper slipstream circuit. We love that circuit on Apex Racing TV. It's one of our favorites, undoubtedly. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm definitely looking forward to heading over to Elkhart Lake and just blasting around Road America. Hopefully I get to see y'all in the practice session, because I'm actually running in this championship throughout the week now, and it's nice talking with viewers while on the car and not crashing into them. Sorry, by the way, in advance. But thank you, everybody, for watching us here on Apex Racing TV for the opening round of the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. Sammy Kumo has been bringing you all these beautiful images and camera angles to you today. Sam Fitzpatrick has joined me in the commentary box, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.